Jen, KTF's been working in Papua New Guinea for over a decade and you for nearly 2. Why PNG?
Oh look, there is such a strong connection between our two nations, nearest neighbours, PNG and Australia, and it was obviously a connection that was forged back in World War II when Papua New Guineans came alongside Australians during their hour of need. PNG is only 3.6 kilometres away from Australia. Of all nearest neighbours in the world, no two have a greater disparity of poverty and wealth as do PNG and Australia. And this is very much a driving and motivating force for KTF. And it drives our work in education, health, livelihoods and leadership.
So how can we be good neighbours to PNG?
Well, look, it's the same way as you're a good neighbour to the people that you live next door with. You're there for them and you lend a hand during their time of need.
Particularly during a global pandemic. I've heard that COVID-19 is the great equaliser. Is it?
Look, there's no question that we've all been impacted greatly in our own way during this crisis, facing fear and uncertainty no matter where we come from. But the reality is that the pandemic does have a disproportionate impact on the vulnerable. When communication is critical, lack of network access stems the flow of essential information. When health services are at the front line of our response, an overburdened health system can become easily overwhelmed. When hygiene resources are absolutely critical to stopping the spread of the virus, supply chains are vital. Without the fundamentals in place, our neighbours are at risk from both the virus and from the lack of access to these everyday essential services that have been disrupted by COVID-19.
And how is KTF responding?
Well, I think the most used word of 2020 is of course pivot, and boy, we've been doing our fair share of pivoting. In fact, we've been pirouetting like ballerinas. We've implemented a range of COVID-19 responses, hygiene, water and sanitation, medical supplies and the provision of personal protective equipment, and of course all important awareness messaging. We're also adapting pretty much all of our programs so that they can simply keep going. Like everyone, our teams in PNG and Australia have had to change the way in which we work, reflecting our current circumstances and resources, but making sure that we can continue to have an impact.
What does that look like?
Well, we've found ways that we can get COVID-19 awareness information to thousands and thousands of people in very remote communities. We've been working with our community networks in which we've worked alongside for many, many years now, a couple of decades, to share messaging via our health workers, our women's groups, teachers who are spread right across PNG. We've distributed hygiene and sanitation supplies to keep schools open and operating. We've helped women's groups transition their businesses who are making face masks and soap. And probably most importantly, we've kept 12 aid posts and health centres along and around the Kokoda Track open and operating, providing essential life-saving healthcare to a population of about 40,000 people.
And it's not always easy.
It's certainly not always easy. Of course, with borders closed, Zoom has become our best friend, as is the radio network, which keeps us connected into communities. You know, imagine not being able to pick up the phone and simply pass on a message. We're constantly chasing airlines and shipping containers to squeeze another load of resources in, and we're working very closely with provincial and regional leaders and governments to access communities in those really remote areas. And it's working. Together, we're getting things done.
How can anyone watching help be better neighbours?
Well, with things changing so rapidly at the moment, the simplest way to be there for our neighbours is to support our work, to help us to keep our vital projects going. Financially, we know it's been tough for absolutely everybody out there, us included, and we are committed to being there for our great neighbours as they were there for us. If you're in a position to help, please make a tax-deductible donation to support our work and know that it will make an incredible difference.
Perfect timing with the end of the financial year looming too. And finally, Jen, what are you most looking forward to when you can head back to PNG?
I absolutely can't wait to get back to PNG and to be reconnected with our great friends and family and the communities that we've had the privilege to work alongside for so many years now. I can't wait to get back into the classroom, to see in the flesh our teachers in action doing the most extraordinary teaching. I can't wait to get back alongside our community health workers and shake their hand for the resilience and the extraordinary job that they have done during this really stressful period. So we're all really looking forward to getting back in country.